that bloom every year. Now they call Addis Ababa the yellow flower. The sunflower that you see in the time of September here in the US is the symbol of Addis Ababa. So you'll see those around this time of the year as well in Ethiopia, and it just blooms all over. So imagine a whole field of all yellow flowers. It's pretty cool. It's actually one of the most beautiful things to see in Ethiopia if you ever go there around New Year. Now, with the conflict that is going on, particularly in the ethnic region of Tigray, with the related economic wars and some of the things that are going on with famine and crisis, unfortunately, a lot of those families are not able to celebrate New Year as they normally would. Many and thousands have lost their lives in the conflict marked by the brutal massacres and mass rapes that has been going on, as we've been reporting in the last couple of weeks, and about 400,000 people facing famine in those horrible conditions. So with this choking the humanitarian access according to the United Nations, and with they cannot get the service that they need or the help that they need in the region. So this is also a very sad year for Ethiopia, especially in the Tigray regions with all the conflict that has been going on since November. And may our heart goes out to them, and as some of them reported, they're just humbly praying for peace and also for Ethiopia to unite. And that's what we need right now, is the unity of the country, because once the country is united, it is so beautiful. The way people celebrate holidays in Ethiopia, it is pretty magical. It is amazing. And that's what the citizens want and they're calling for. All right. Also today marked the anniversary of 9/11, 20 years ago. So today marked the 20 years of 9/11. And what is going on in New York right now, or here in the America, the heart of the mission of the National September 11 Memorial and Museum remains the annual commemoration ceremony that is taken on. The family members of 9/11 victims will gather on the Memorial Plaza to lead aloud the names of those killed in the 9/11 attack and also in the 1993 World Trade Center bombing, and also the last 13 military that we have lost in Afghanistan, ending the 20-year war in Afghanistan as well. So today may be a remembrance of 9/11, what happened 20 years ago, and also condolences to all the militaries and all the people that have been lost since then. Now, what is going on in Guinea? So a coup has taken place on September 5th of 2021, which is just a few days ago. President of Guinea, Alpha Conde, was captured by the country's armed force in a Coupe d'etat after a gunfire in the capital of Conakry. So Special Forces Commander released a broadcast on the state television announcing the dissolution of the constitution and government. So with this coup taking place, the military has taken over and the president of Guinea has been arrested. So the coup began in the morning of September 5th, when the Republican of Guinea Armed Force surrounded the presidential palace and cordoned off the wide government district, which blocking off the whole entire district. And followed with a shootout with pro-government forces. The militaries appear to be led by Doumbouya, which is one of the leaders there, taking Conde hostage. So with this destruction going on, it really rises up a huge scale of what could be potentially going on in Guinea in the next few days. So heavy gunfire echoed around the capital of Guinea early on Sunday morning, and the pictures surfaced all over social media. So you'll start to see reports of what is going on there in Guinea right now. And most of the media of the West African countries, president is being held in custody by men in the military forces. Finally, the head of Guinea Special Forces announced to state television that the government and all institutions were dissolved. He has staged a coup, and if the takeover proves successful, Guinea will become the third West African country to experience a violent transition of power in the past 5 months. And with some of the West African main politicians and economic blocs suspend Ghanaians' membership on Wednesday following a weekend military coup that accused President Alpha Conde and dealt the latest in the setbacks to democracy in the region. If like they mentioned, if it was successful, it will mark the third time in 5 months that a West African nation has surfaced a takeover. So that's a huge breaking news that is going on right now in Guinea, and more updates to come in the next few days to come. Now, updates on Taliban. What is going on? Has the Taliban begin to rule Afghanistan as an official government leader? On September 9, there were some witnesses and rooters that exposed some of the bruises that are going on and the crimes that are going on against women and journalists in Afghanistan. The women are coming back and fighting for their rights as much as they can. And the 2 journalists were beaten in the police custody this week after covering a protest by women in Kabul, where they were detained by the Taliban, said by some of the journalists' editor. Both men forces were also bruised and cut in the pictures. Now, some of the pictures there are very graphic, which were verified by the rooters, and they were beaten by all their force and all their might, says the journalist. And some of them were beaten with worst material you can imagine, like leather and wires, as much as they can. So with some of the updates going on there, the journalist said the beating sent a chilling message to the media in Afghanistan, where an independent press, much of it funded by the Western donors, has flourished in the last 20 years. 5 colleagues were kept in the detention center for more than 4 hours. And during these 4 hours, 2 of the colleagues were beaten and tortured brutally. He told the Reuters on Thursday, the day after the incident took place. The journalist said the injured reporters were taken to the hospital and advised by doctors to take 2 weeks rest. That's how bad they were. They were beaten to the point they were no longer conscious. They black out. But the incidents of abuse since they came into power have risen among many Afghanistans in the country. One of the 2 journalists said 7 or 8 people beaten them for about 10 minutes. They would rise sticks and beat us. This is one of the people talking. They would rise sticks and beat us with all their strength. After they beat us, they said that we had passed out. They took us to lock us up in the cell with few others, he said. And Reuters cannot independently verify his account. So these are some of the things going on over there in Afghanistan. But the good thing is the women are fighting back, and it is a hard battle. It's a very, very challenging battle. Some of them are willing to risk their life to get beaten or get arrested, whichever the worst that could happen to them. And as one of the women said to the reporter, it is better we fight before they kill us. Is either fight or die trying. So that is what's going on in Afghanistan. And have a wonderful night. See you all next week.
nouveau à Minneapolis. Tempo Afrique Travel. Vous voulez voyager? Achetez vos billets d'avion à l'agent de voyage Tempo Afrique Travel. Avec l'agent de voyage Tempo Afrique Travel, pas de problème de connexion, pas de problème de transfert de vol. Avec l'agent de voyage Tempo Afrique Travel, c'est le voyage en toute tranquillité, en toute beauté, de votre maison jusqu'à votre destination. Votre satisfaction est notre plaisir.